slow on the 101 leaving downtown. When we come back, I've got Professor Peter Mathews. Why is it Americans say they hate jobs and they want to go job hunting in 2014? We're going to ask him what all this means. What really is ahead next year?
Your commute feeling shorter? That's just a side effect of listening to your voice. KTLK AM 1150.
KTLK AM 1150. It is your voice in this poor man's hour when we talk about the reality facing most of us today. Economically, we've invited our guru on all things economic. He is our political science analyst. Yes, Professor Peter Mathews, welcome back to the program.
Great to be back here, Dave. How you doing?
Well, terrific. On this day, when two very important reports are out, we wanted to get your take. Number one, employers are holding wages in check. I've been going over these numbers, and I mean, we are seeing barely just a tick over the cost of living increase. In other words, people are not making any progress. It seems like we're just keeping our heads above water. Do I misread the tea leaves?
Actually, the numbers are even worse because 0.4% increase this year in pay is not equal to inflation. The cost of living went up over 1%, like 1-point-something%. So we've actually lost ground in terms of wages.
I see.
So it's even worse. And the problem with that, Dave, is when you do this, when the employers pay so little in terms of increase to keep up with the cost of living, then you got consumer spending that goes down. And yet consumer spending accounts for two-thirds of the economy. If the workers don't get enough money in their pockets to spend, the economy continues to drag or slows down.
And that's the spiral you and I have talked about before. We're talking with Peter Mathews, political science professor at Cypress College, our political analyst. Look, we've been saying over many months, Professor, that the idea of a stimulus only having helped the banksters, those industries and areas that, have the strong lobbies, didn't trickle down to people in the working ranks. This seems to confirm that.
Absolutely. In fact, the consumer spending only went up by 1.5% this year, which is the smallest increase in consumer spending in 2 years. People don't have money to spend, Dave, and this is bad. And you're right, it didn't trickle down. The stimulus went to the big banks. These CEOs got hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses and billions altogether.
Yes.
And they bought jet planes and aircraft and helicopters for their banks.
Okay.
It's unbelievable what happened there on Wall Street.
Now, here we are, what is it, the 19th of November, mere days away from Thanksgiving. One of the largest employers in the world, Walmart, of course, holding Thanksgiving food drives. We're headed into the holidays. What do you see this means for the spending season? And that also affects jobs.
Definitely. The less spending that's there, the less jobs that will be created, and the jobs that are created will be very low-paying jobs. Part of the reason for this is because employers have been able to pick and choose from among a lot of unemployed people. Unemployment is still way up there, Dave. So employers have the bargaining chip on there. They're the ones that have the leverage to drive the wages down even further.
As a matter of fact,
it's terrible. Thanksgiving time is the worst time for this to be going on.
No question about it. I was reading Andrew Davis, who's with Moody's Analytics, saying that right now negotiating power is in the hands of employers, just what you pointed out. So does that leave people with an ultimatum, take it or walk? Is that it?
It does, and also, job satisfaction is way down because of that, too. 83% of workers said they're going to look for other jobs next year.
And
completely different jobs. They don't like what they're doing right now.
And I saw that.
Treated.
Yeah. And so, Professor, let me ask you this. If it's true that we're going to see, let's say, 1 in 5 people in America seeking a new job, or 4 out of 5 seeking a new job,
yes.
What does that say in terms of stability for businesses out there that want to keep talent but aren't putting out the kind of money to keep people engaged and interested?
It says that the productivity is going to go down because job dissatisfaction is related to productivity. The workers who are disgruntled won't produce as much and be happy about it. Also, it'll damage morale and hurt profits in the long run or in the medium run. And that's a problem, Dave. Here's a number to put in perspective. In 2009, just 60% of the workers were dissatisfied were going to look for a job the next year. Now it's 83%. Which is a huge increase in dissatisfaction, and it's going to hurt the economy overall and hurt the employers in the medium run as well. They need to get on this thing and start being fair. Look at the number of dollars that are paid, by the way, in Germany. You have other countries where there's much greater job satisfaction than here in the United States, And those countries generally pay a lot more. And you know what else is related to job satisfaction, Dave, in terms of the pay? Those making less than $50,000 a year, 21% are dissatisfied with their jobs, whereas those making over $50,000 a year, only 10% are dissatisfied. So pay is part of it.
Yeah,
but also
go ahead.
It's more than pay.
What is
the
it?
worker satisfaction. That people need to feel they're doing something meaningful and that the society needs that what they're doing is productive and that people need them. And they also should have some benefits. I mean, the benefit packages aren't that great in the United States. We got 16% of our people being saying work is unbearable, and we don't have any paid vacations guaranteed here. We don't have parental leave. We don't have child care that's affordable for most American working families. But in Europe and countries like Germany,
you know, my son was telling me, Professor, just last night over dinner. I'm talking about Nick Nevada, my oldest boy. He was telling me that his wife is now going into work, before dawn, so that she can get off at 2:00, so that she can pick up the kids because they're trying to save $400 a month. That was the child care for their littlest one. My point is, they were working to support the care of their children.
And that's completely outrageous because that just demoralizes everyone. And the child suffers also because mom is not that alert and attentive and rested, for one thing. Look at this. In France, you pay $1 an hour for on-site child care. They have child care at your workplace, so mom can go and dad can go and visit the child during their breaks or during lunchtime. And have them right at $1 an hour, Dave. The rest of it's subsidized by the government.
Professor, people are going to say, "Well, if you like it so much, move to France." And I'm not trying to. No, I'm not trying to be facetious.
Here's my response.
Yeah, go.
What makes you think France would want us to come over there? They may not want us to just come over there in droves.
Well,
they built that system with a lot of hard work.
I saw one headline today because I knew I'd be talking to you, and I wanted to hit you with it. 16% of Americans not only dislike their jobs, they hate their jobs. 16%. I mean, that's not something to sneeze at.
No, it's not. And the numbers are interesting comparing it to Britain and Germany. It's 12% in Britain, 10% in Germany, they hate their jobs, 9% in France, and 7% in Canada. So it goes down in terms of numbers of these countries. And a lot of it has to do with how the workers are treated, David. We have to recognize employers and the workers are a team. And when employers treat their workers like family and take care of them, the workers are much more happy and productive. And everyone benefits.
I remember when they asked Mr. Kelleher, the founder of Southwest Airlines, they asked him, who do you think is most important, the customer or your employees? You know what he said? The employees. I take care of my employees. They'll take care of our customers. Wonderful premise. So I leave you with this last thought. Given everything we've talked about in this poor man's hour, one word that keeps popping up again and again in these two reports that were issued today about job dissatisfaction in America is the word engagement, that employees are not being engaged by their employers. What do you think that really means in simple terms?
What that means is the employer is not consulting with the employee on major issues that affect them on a daily basis. For example, would it be better to have, more 15-minute breaks in the day or a longer lunch hour? Those kinds of decisions should be made in cooperation with the employer if possible. And to get the employee to know what they're producing, how the money is going out, where is it coming in, how to increase things so everyone can benefit, and give the employees a little bit more say at the workplace. It's very important.
Give everybody a voice.
Give everybody a voice. There you go.
I'll tell you what, we're going to put a link on our website to yours. I love it, Dr. Peter Mathews, Professor. Thank you for doing your extraordinary job to break it down for us, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, so when we talk about these two reports that are out today, I was just thinking I began the hour with a bank giving away $13 billion, and then I end the hour with the American worker getting less of an increase between last year and this year than the very cost of living has gone up in that 12-month period. Isn't something out of kilter here for you? I know it is for me. Because the way I see things, my daddy raised me to believe this, and this is the way I raised my kids. You work hard. You make whatever sacrifice you must to demonstrate that you are willing, capable, and yes, able. So it's both, capable and able, like a conjugation of both. But that you are willing and you will be there. Don't ask for the raise. It'll come to you. You see, that was the way I was raised. These days, you can ask for it, and somebody will ask you to the door.
The word today is job. J-O-B. You hear me?
That's right, and don't nobody go in there for at least 45 minutes, all right? Got to go to work. I'm a dog catcher. That's what I am. All right, coming up the next hour,